Shabbat Shalom. Okay, I know this crowd can do better than that. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Wonderful. Welcome. Thank you. That was really, really good. You're hired. So wonderful. Shabbat Shalom. It's so great to have you all here on this beautiful Shabbat morning. We begin on page 70 with words of gathering, with words of being present and being here together. Hine matov umanaim, shevet anu gam yachad. We use the word anu as a way of bringing everyone together, a way of not having any gendered language, but if the other language of achim or achayot is more comfortable for you, you do you. Join with us, page 70.
Hine matov umanayim shevet anu gam yachad. 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 Hine matov umanayim shevet anu gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
There we are. Now we're all nice and warmed up. It is such a pleasure to be here with you this Shabbat morning. I'm Rabbi Dana Benson. I'm joined by Rabbi Debbie Maserano, as well as our wonderful bat mitzvah this morning, Lila Garfield. I'm also joined by our wonderful musicians, Sean Weaver, Andy Stoller, and Taran Weber, who will be helping to beautify our Shabbat service this morning. And of course, our technological wind beneath our wings, making sure we can be both seen and heard here, as well as all those at home. Thank you so much, Jamie. And speaking about all of those who are at home, we want to make sure that they feel like they're part of the service with us this morning. Make sure that they feel like they're here. So we're going to turn around and go to that camera right there with the red light. We're going to wave and say, Shabbat Shalom! Shabbat Shalom! I think I could almost hear them say it back that time. That was really nice. And so here we are as we begin this Shabbat morning. Now, I know some of you, this may be your millionth Shabbat service. For some of you, this may be your first ever Shabbat service, and that's wonderful, and we're just so glad that you're all here together. Some things to know about being here as part of this service this morning is that instead of applauding or anything like that, we try to say Yasher Koach when somebody's done a good job. Do you want to try that? Yasher Koach? You're professionals. You're all hired. That's beautiful. And so we say Yasher Koach when somebody's done a good job. Also, in the prayer books in front of you, you may notice that we have a little section on the top right hand that kind of tells you where you are in the service. If you turn that prayer book, if I was to be looking at it with you right now, on that one side, on that right side, is the left side? Yeah, it's the right side. Thank you, Rabbi Debbie. On this side, we'll have a more true to Hebrew translation, as well as the Hebrew and transliteration in the prayer book. Thank you so much. And then on this other side, on the right side, I really should learn my left and my right one of these days, but it's okay. On the other side, on the right side, you have some interpretive readings, some English interpretations of the prayer. If you find yourself with your mind wandering or needed something to help just make you feel like a little bit more comfortable with what's going on, or just to deeply understand it better, that's what that side is for. And without any further ado, I think it's time for us to really lean into what it means to be together on a Shabbat morning, to be in prayer together. And so it's my honor and pleasure to invite up a member of our community to help us get started on what some say are supposed to be 100 blessings we're supposed to say each day. Can you imagine if we were to do 100 blessings each day? I'll challenge you. Maybe you can go and try to do so today. But one of our blessings is having Diana Brement, a member of our community, lead us in our Nisim Bechol Yom, our blessings for everyday miracles. You can find them starting on page 8080 and on the even-numbered pages following.
Thank you, Rabbi Dana. Yes, 100 blessings a day. We're going to do quite a few of those in services today, starting now. I encourage you, I think of this as an act of Jewish mindfulness. I encourage you to keep looking for blessings in your life, within and without, as you go through your day. Starting at the top of page 80, I'm going to chant the Baruch Atah Adonai part. If you don't know it, I think you'll pick it up pretty quickly. And then I'm going to alternate finishing in English and Hebrew. Please use whichever language is more comfortable to you. When you get to the part that says, "Who has made me a Jew?" if you're not Jewish, feel free to fill in whatever belief system or spiritual belief that you adhere to. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Please feel free to join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, sokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanotein laya'ef koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tselem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me to be free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'tifarah. And it's our custom at Temple Beth Am to add one more blessing, something that's completely personal to you. So take a second to think of a blessing in your life, and we're going to chant and finish with your own blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given me family.
Yasher Koach, and thank you so much, Diana, for helping to lead us in that. We continue now with words of song. Literally, we're going to get to sing words about singing songs with Mizmor Shir on page 96. Join with us. And first, we have to literally get on the same page and key, which is all good to sing together, which is beautiful. And to Temple, we're a place where it's okay to clap, it's okay to snap, it's okay to even dance a little bit. So join with us.
Yom HaShabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות עלי עשור ועלינו עלי היגיון
Try this part.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון כשמחתני אדוני בפועלך במעשה ידיך אראן מה גדול מעשיך אדוני מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון.
And we continue with Baruch on page 108 now that we're all warmed up, and I invite you to rise in either body or spirit.
I did I die 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 I did I die 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 I die 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 I die 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 I die 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 ברכו את אדוני המבורך
Please be seated. We continue with Yotzer Or on page 110.
Baruch
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer Or Urei Choshech Oseh Shalom Urei et Hakol Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha berachamim Utuvo mechadesh bechol yom tamid maaseh bereshit
Maravu ma'asecha Adonai Kulam bechokma asita mal'ah haaretz kinyanecha Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha ve'al me'orei or she'asita yefa'arucha sela Or chadash al tion ta'ir v'nizkeh kulanu mehera le'oro Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot. Our beautiful blessing for morning light, which here in Seattle we actually have some today. Yahoo!
Seriously.
Always good. And so we continue on with words of love with Ahava Rabbah, page 112.
Ahava Rabbah Havtanu Adonai Eloheinu ורחמת עלינו בעבור אבותינו ואימותינו שבטחו בך אבותינו ואימותינו ותלמדם חוקי חיים כן תכוננו ותלמדנו רחם עלינו ותן בליבנו להבין ולהשכיל לשמוע ללמוד וללמד לשמור ולעשות ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה והאר עינינו בתורתך ודבק ליבנו במצוותיך ויחל לבבנו לאהבה וליראה את שמך ולא נבוש ולא ניכלם ולא ניכשל לעולם ועד כי בשם קודשך הגדול הנורא בטחנו נגילה ונשמחה בישועתך והביאנו לשלום מארבע כנפות הארץ ותוליכנו קוממיות לארצנו כי אל פועל ישועת אתה ובנו בחרת וקרבת לשמך הגדול סלע באמת להודות לך וליחדך באהבה ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. And if it is your practice to remain seated for the Shema, we invite you to do so. And if it's your practice to rise for Shema, we invite you to do so at this time.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu
distinct pleasure to invite up a young person who's becoming bat mitzvah this morning, Lila Garfield, to lead us in our next set of words, Love in Action, the words of the Ve'ahavta on page 36. Please join with.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha u'chol nafshecha u'v'kol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlektecha v'derek uvshok becha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha liman tiskeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Yashar koach. All right, take your prayer book, put it down someplace. This is good. Come down this way. So, when Bnei Yisrael left Egypt, they got to a very difficult place. There was water everywhere. And Moshe lifted his hand and the water split. And what did people do? They walked through. They were so excited to be out of Egypt, so excited to be free and away from that narrow place that is Mitzrayim, that is Egypt. And they danced their way when they got to the end of it. And it is our custom in this congregation that we too, at this point, when we remember that time of leaving Egypt, get up and dance. So I encourage everybody right now to stand up, go, and grab somebody's hand, and let's go. Join us. Down through the thing. Come on, join us.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha neilar b'kodesh, nora tehilo hosef eleh, nora tehilo hosef eleh. Shir ha'chadasha she'hu ge'ulim, l'shimcha asat hayam, yachad kulam hodu, v'imlechu
You, but if that is 1/10, hi, if that is 1/10 of the energy that our ancestors had at the sea, if that was 1/16 of how powerful it was to be able to see Jewish community dancing together, if that was just a hint of the kind of joy that we can create on Shabbat, how much more so are we blessed to be able to experience it in this moment together? And so as we take in that sense of energy and joy and connection and community, being able to dance and sing and pray together and feel that sense of joy just like our ancestors in that moment, we get to be filled with that same joy and pride as we continue to call Lila up to lead us in our service.
Please rise for the tefillah. We are on page 124.
Adonai sifatai tivtach ufia gita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibur ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol V'zocher Hasdei Avot, Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nehem, Liman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagain, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atarav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach, Umarit hagashem, Mechalkel hayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asuri, Kaye emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umito melach, Melech meimid, Chaya, Matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lechachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol.
And we continue with the Kiddusha on page 130.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש קדוש קדוש, אדוני צבאות, מלך כל הארץ, כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מה אדיר, שמך בכל הארץ.
Baruch kevod Adonai v'kamo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu hu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu ve'hu Yashmienu, berachamav le'enei kol chai. Ani Adonai
קדושך נקדיש, ושמך אלוהינו פינו לא ימוש, לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. I don't know if others saw, but there was a beautiful bald eagle that flew just above the glass as Lila was praying. And that's one of the things I love about being in the Pacific Northwest and being in this type of sanctuary, is that we see the sacred here on the Bima and seeing our young people come to Torah and be able to lead, and we can see the beauty of the world around us as well. And so with that, we sanctify this Shabbat morning with our Kedushat Hayom. You can join with me in that on page 134. Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu retzeh b'mnuchatenu kadshenu b'mitzvotecha v'ten chelkeinu v'toratecha saveinu mituvecha v'samcheinu b'yeshuatecha v'taher libeinu le'avdecha ve'emet ve'hanchileinu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ahava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha ve'anuchu va'Yisrael mekadesh emecha Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat. We'll take the next few moments to pray quietly, either the words of the pages before you leading up and through page 142, or the meditations of your own heart. We'll join back together after our few moments of reflective prayer with song. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador, nagid lecha, ulenetzach netzachim, ulenetzach netzachim, kedushatcha nakdish. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador, nagid God lecha. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador, nagid God lecha. Ulenitzach nitzachim, ulenitzach nitzachim, krushatcha, krushatcha, nakdish. Lipinu lo yamush, lipinu lo yamush, leolam, leolam va'ed. Ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador, nagid gadlecha, ledor vador, ledor vador, ledor vador nagid gadlecha, ulenitzach nitzachim, ulenitzach nitzachim, krushatcha natish, mi pinu lo yamush, le'olam va'ed, ledor vador, ledor vador nagid gadlecha, ledor vador nagid gadlecha. From generation to generation, we are able to hand down Torah with our hearts warmed and having our time for personal prayer and silence too. Now we move into that intergenerational handing down of Torah. But first, it is our custom here at Temple Beth Am to have a member of our community take part in that handing down of Torah, as we are part of one community here. And so it is my distinct honor and pleasure to invite forward one of our shamashim and just a wonderful member of our community, a mentor to me, Ronnie Shore, to offer a reading as we hand down the Torah.
I don't see it in here.
It's already up there.
Oh, it's already up there. Thank you.
We thank God for the gift of Torah and for the wondrous opportunity to share it with a new generation. Today, you ensure the continuation of the legacy of Moses and Miriam. They first taught Torah to our people, and as we prepare to hand the Torah to you now, it is our hope that just as you will carry it in your hands today, you will carry it within your heart always as a perpetual expression of your faith in God and commitment to your people.
Amen. Thank you so much, Ronnie, for helping lead us in that. I'm going to invite you to stay up here for our handing down of Torah. In addition, I'm going to invite up some people that you probably know decently well there, Lila, your grandparents, Ron and Lily Garfield, as well as Ron and Cheryl Reback. Come on up, as well as your parents, of course, Lauren and Jason, for our handing down of Torah. Please rise in body spirit.
Elohim Adonai ve'ein kema'asecha malchutcha malchut kol olamim umemshaltecha bechal dor vador Adonai melech Adonai melech Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Adonai os le'amo yitein Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
And so here we are, Lila, standing at the foot of Sinai once again, the Torah being handed down from the divine to us, as we'll hear about a little bit in your Torah portion and in your Devar. And we stand here gathered together, the generations before us, the elders handing it down to our generation of today, and our generation of today handing it down now to the generations of the future, to you. Ki mitzion.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, u'devar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato.
And together we say the words of the watchword of our faith, the words of the Shema together. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. And we'll continue to sing as Lila helps bring our Torah out into your midst with a hakafah.
Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim.
Are you up?
Al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'hakodsho. Romemu Adonai
All right, Ben, Jennifer, Michael, Amy, Jason, Mary, Reback, if you are answer uncles, come on up. It's an uncle, come on up.
Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu.
Aunts and uncles, come on up.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu
And Jennifer, and Michael, and Amy, and Jason, and Ari, come on up.
Adonai Eloheinu
Ve'ishtachavu
le'hakodsho.
Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu.
Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'hakodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu le'hakodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu.
And with our Torah now seated within our midst and lots of hugs and love being offered, you may please be seated. As I alluded to just moments ago, we're in the Torah portion of Ki Tisa, in which we get to hear some of the words and some of the deep emotional feelings of God and Aaron, and, well, less so Aaron, God and Moses and the Israelites. There's a lot of emotion in this Torah portion. It is very full in that way. But we also get to hear a little bit about how to also repair from some of that emotion. And so it's my honor to have Lila now teach us her own words of Torah with her Devar Torah.
Have you ever felt like you have to fit the mold of pop culture society? Have you ever given in to peer pressure? Have you ever heard of just say no? Well, let me tell you a little story about God, Moses, Aaron, and the famous golden calf. In the Parsha Ki Tisa, Moses goes to Mount Sinai to receive the 10 Commandments and leave his brother Aaron in charge while he is up on the mountain. He is up there longer than expected, and the people of Israel start to panic, so they go to Aaron. Aaron is put in charge, but cracks under the peer pressure of the angry mob. He took their gold and made a golden calf that they all worship to satisfy their needs. God sees this and threatens to kill all of them, but Moses says not to kill them. Moses then comes down and is infuriated that they would do such a thing. Out of frustration, he breaks the tablets with the 10 Commandments and the calf. He then puts the primary culprits to death and tells everybody else that they've committed sin. He returns and wins God's forgiveness back along with the 10 Commandments. One theme that can be taken away from the Parsha is standing up for your values even under peer pressure. In the Parsha, Aaron was put in charge to be a strong leader, but broke under peer pressure. Cantor Richard Newman states, one could also argue that Aaron failed the Israelites by allowing their anxiety to win out over what he knew to be true and right. One way that this can connect to our everyday life is with social media. I'm assuming that the majority of you guys have heard of social media or used it before. As we all know, social media has influencers and followers. Influencers can post anything from their opinions to snapshots of life or tutorials to stage scenes that look absolutely beautiful, and many other things. I could get into a loophole of talking about social media, but I'm going to focus on how it might drive people to make irrational decisions due to peer pressure. As an influencer, people follow you for different reasons, but mainly your content. When you post on social media publicly, you're hoping to gain followers and become a bigger influencer, and you might do so by posting something memorable or out of the ordinary. Aaron wanted to be a great leader and for his followers to like him, but in trying to achieve that goal, he made an irrational decision and didn't stand by his values. So, how does this relate to social media? To gain a following, you might make an irrational decision to be internet famous, to post something you think will be cool and gain followers, but you know is not true and right. An example of this is the duct tape challenge. For those of you who do have social media, I'm guessing you've probably seen this before. But for those of you who don't, let me explain. You take a few rolls of duct tape and duct tape someone to a wall. Sounds pretty funny and safe enough, right? Well, that's where you'd be wrong. Because people have gotten hurt due to something not so smart. And that's not funny. People made this irrational decision due to the fact that they wanted to be liked and famous. As the oldest of 4, it's up to me to set the right example and not fall accountable to these silly challenges. I mean, I'm the influencer of the Garfield guys. I'm just not internet famous. Yet. It's my responsibility to be a good leader and influencer for my brothers and the people around me because I'm constantly put in a leadership-like position. A bat mitzvah is when you're mature enough to be responsible for your actions. We're encouraged to step up into a leadership position and give back to our community and the people around us. On the journey to becoming an adult in our community, you do a mitzvah project. This is a good deed that gives back to others. For mine, I volunteered at a nonprofit called Friendship Circle, which is an organization that helps disabled kids and young adults be themselves, have a friend, have activities and friendship for a few hours, and opportunities. I became involved at Friendship Circle when I was in 5th grade, and have found it to be such an amazing, fun, and positive place. I love to spend my time there and hang out with my buddy. We like to dance, pass and throw basketballs, and listen to music. Being at Friendship Circle is always the highlight of my week because it's always so positive, and it makes me so happy to see the other people there also happy. A mitzvah isn't something you do just for your bat mitzvah. A mitzvah is something you do to give back, and you should always keep doing that. Becoming a bat mitzvah has inspired me to dig into the meaning of the Torah in Judaism. What I find so amazing is that these stories are from thousands of years ago and reflect the problems that we still face today. As an adult in our community, it is my responsibility to take these lessons I've learned and teach and help influence our next generations to not fall into the same types of situations. Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." This quote perfectly highlights what I want you all to walk away with from today. It means to be yourself and not what others want you to be, and hold your values above all the peer pressure around you. So the next time you scroll through the endless feed of social media, just remember the tale of Moses and Aaron, who faced the original FOMO dilemma with the golden calf fiasco.
Yesher koach. Yesher koach.
I'll let that one slide, but for the next one, we do Yasher Koach, all right? But I understand it was a beautiful devar and an important teaching, and thank you so much, Lila, for sharing it with us. It's my honor to invite up an individual who's going to be our Gabbai this morning, who I think you also know very well, who's been your tutor. Davey, come on up and help us with our Torah service. Thank you so much for being here, beloved member of our community as well. And it's also my honor to invite up your grandparents again, Ron and Lily Garfield and Ron and Cheryl Reback, to be able to offer the Aliyah, the blessing over Torah. Nala Amod, Wolf bin Yisrael HaKohen, V'Fesel Bat Yaakov, Reuven Hersherafe, Bat Yaakov, Le Aliyah, Rishona.
There are two different versions of Tanakh. The one that is plain is considered the classic version. You can find the Torah portion on page 634. If you have the new one, which has the Torah on the cover of it, it's going to be on page 586, chapter 31.
Thank you, Ronnie, for helping us get some of those commentaries out. Yep. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayidaber Adonai al Moshe lemor. Re'eh karati v'shem B'Tzal'el ben Nuri ben Hur lemate Yehuda va'amale oto ruach Elohim b'chokhma uvitvuna uvdat uvkol melacha lachshov machashavot la'asot bazahav uvakesef uvan choshet uvacharoshet Even limalot uvacharoshet eitz la'asot b'chol melacha.
Yasher Koach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'yagei olam natan b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Lila, this is probably a good moment to give your grandparents a hug. While I invite them also to stand over by Davy, and I invite up a few more individuals who you know and love deeply, your parents. Lauren and Jason, come on up as you can stand beside your daughter. They have you all stand over there with Davy really quick. You can stand over there, perfect. You're going to stand here as Lila is called as a bat mitzvah to Torah for the very first time. Hakol avu godel Eloheinu tnu kadvod leTorah ta'amod habat mitzvah Lila yel bat Yisrael v'le'aleh aliyah shniyah.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Va'ani hine natati ito et ahaliyav ben achisamach lematedan uvlev kol chacham lev natati chochma ve'asu et kol asher tziviticha et ohel moed vet ha'aron la'idud vet ha'kaporet asher alav ve'et kol kalei ha'ohel vet ha'shulhan vet kelav vet hamnorah ha'torah vet kol keleha ve'et mizbach ha'ktoret ve'et mizbach ha'olah vet kol kelav, vet hakior, vet kano, vet big day hasrad, vet big day hakodesh, le'aharon hakohen, vet big day vanav, lechahen, vet hashulhan, vet kelav, vet haktoret hasamim, la kodesh kecho asher tziviticha ya'asu.
Yasher Koach. You'll offer the blessing afterward as well.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natat b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And you're going to give your parents a hug as I invite your grandparents to return to their seats. And Lila, you've been a blessing to so many of us this Shabbat morning through your teaching and through your Torah, that we also want to make sure that your parents have an opportunity to share with you the words of blessing that they have for you on this day where you've been such a blessing to all of us. You got this, Brad.
I got this. Today, as we gather, sorry, hold on.
It's all good.
Okay, one more time. Today, as we gather in celebration of our daughter's bat mitzvah, we are reminded that her journey is both a personal achievement and a link in the chain of our Jewish culture. To my daughter, Lila, I can't.
To our daughter Lila, may you carry forward the legacy of those who came before you with pride and contribute to the world with the unique light that shines within you. Learning Hebrew, understanding the Torah, and embracing the responsibilities of Jewish adulthood are no small feats. They require perseverance, commitment, and a deep love for our traditions. These are some of the same values that our ancestors carried in their hearts as they face challenges and adversity, and which has also kept our traditions alive and our community strong. He wants to go.
In celebrating your bat mitzvah, we also celebrate what it means to come of age in a world that is beautifully diverse, yet unified in moments like these. Bringing together your community, your family, and your friends is all part of being Jewish. Take a look at your friends and family who traveled near and far. It fills our heart to see so many friends from different faiths joining us today. Everyone's presence is a powerful reminder of the bridges of our understanding and respect we can build together, transcending our differences and celebrating what unites us. Thank you all for being part of our lives and supporting us in celebrating this significant milestone. Today is another testament to the power of community, love, and friendship across all boundaries. Let us carry that spirit of unity, the joy of celebration, and the commitment to making the world a better place for all. And lastly, thank you for being part of our daughter's journey into Jewish adulthood.
Yasher Koach. And like any really good blessing, it should be sealed with a hug. You take, yeah. Of course. And as the parents have a little bit of time to kvel, we take a moment now to acknowledge those in our community who are in need of healing, who are in need of courage, who are in need of strength. Our words of Misha Berach, our prayer for healing in Jewish tradition, acknowledges that there are needs that are both physical as well as mental, within our bodies as well as within our spirits and within our emotions. As a community, we think about everyone who is in need, whether it be those who are still healing from the wounds of injustice and oppression, whether it be family and friends halfway across the world. Whoever is in need in this moment is into our hearts. If you are thinking of someone at this time who's in need of a healing of body or spirit, I invite you to share their name aloud as I glance around the room. And the words of babes remind us just how much that healing is needed so that we can continue to enjoy those beautiful sounds of laughter. We continue with the Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, on page 253.
Misha Berach Avoteinu Kor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Le'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. May they each know a speedy and full healing of body and spirit, and may we each know the continued courage and strength to help them on that journey. Together we say, Amen. Now it's time to redress our Torah, prepare her to be returned back to the ark. It's my honor to invite forward Lila, aunt and uncle, Oliver Garfield and Liz Garfield, to help us as we lift and dress the Torah. I invite you all to please rise in body or spirit. Vezot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe. Yai dai da dai dai dai, yai dai da dai dai dai, yai dai da dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai da dai dai dai, yai dai da dai dai dai, yai dai da dai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai.
You may be seated. Beautiful. In times of trial, our ancestors could not read Torah publicly, and so our tradition evolved, trying to figure out how in this world where we were not necessarily able to chant Torah to those who are in our midst, we would be able to continue forth with the sharing of our tradition. And so the words of the prophets became the way that we did that, the words of our Nevi'im. And so we'll hear from the words of some of our prophets today that Lila will share with us. We'll be reading from 1 Kings 18, chapter 18, verses 20 through 22. If you're joining us online, there'll be a Safaria link. Thank you so much, Jamie, for helping us out. As well as, or you can just go to safaria.org otherwise. Or if you're joining with us here in person, in the classic plout, again, the one that only says the Torah on the front, it'll be on page 724. In the more things on the front, it'll be pages 608 to 609. If you'd like to join in for the page 254 of the prayer book, and with all of those numbers, I'm going to repeat them one more time, just because it was a lot of numbers. If you're in the classic plout, you'll be on page 724. If you're in the newer plout, you'll be on pages 608 to 609. And it's my honor and pleasure to invite Lila up to share with us these words from 1 Kings of our Haftarah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar bin vi'im tovim v'ratza v'divrehem ha'ne'emarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai Habocher b'Torah, uv Moshe avdo, uv Yisrael amo, uvin v'yeh ha'emet v'tzedek, v'yishlach achav b'chol b'nei Yisrael, v'yikbotz et hanvi'im, El har hakarmel, vayigash Eliyahu el kol ha'am, vayomer ad matai atem poschim al shetei hasipim im Adonai ha'Elohim lechu acharav ve'im habal lechu acharav velo anu ha'am oto davar vayomer Eliyahu el ha'am ani notarti navi Adonai levadi unviei habal arba meot v'chamishim ish Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam tzur kol ha'alamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh hamdaber umkayem shekol divarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'vodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnucha lichavod ultifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umvarchim otach yitbarach shimcha befi kochai tamid le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat
Amen.
Yasher Koach.
Take a deep breath. All your Hebrew's done. So when I walked into the sanctuary this morning, I walked in at about 10 to the most amazing sight, the future Jewish community. I'd like to call up, get ready, all of the little ones, here they come. Ava, Ella, Jacob, Jules, Spencer, Aya, Mia, Felix, Chloe, Sloan, Jax, Theo, and Jameson up to open the ark. All the cousins.
I invite you all to rise in body or spirit for the returning of the ark to the Torah.
Y'all will. One person on one side, open one side.
What if you're gonna grab this door? What if he's gonna grab this door?
And then we
The
need
big and
someone to
wide?
open the thing.
And then there's gonna be a string in there. Somebody jib it.
It's Haim he lama chazikim ba v'tomecha meushar deracheha darchei noam v'chol tivotecha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva chadesh chadesh yameinu chadesh yameinu kekedem.
And here for all the little ones. Here you go.
As we add a little sugar and spice to the day.
If you get one, yeah, here you go. You guys get one too.
You got it.
Do you want one? Come on. You can have it. It's good. No, take it. So Lila, come on up here for a second. You've completed everything you need to do. So as Rabbi Debbie said, you can take a deep breath. But as I mentioned, you've been a blessing to our community this morning in helping to lead us through worship and prayer, and you've been a blessing to your family for so many years. Through this journey, it's been incredible to watch you mature, although I must admit, even from the first day you came into my office, as we talked about this process, you were ready in a certain way. You were already so much wiser than most peers your age. And you came in wanting to not just make us proud, but you wanted, and the divine light said yes, but not just wanting to make yourself proud, not just making us proud, you wanted to make yourself proud as well. And that's something unique, and that's something special for students who want to make sure that in their own heart they've done the work to feel proud of themselves in achieving and arriving at this moment. As you shared in your Devar Torah, it's important for you to also be someone who can influence things for the good, helping to lead your siblings, your little brothers, into who they are growing to be, helping to be someone in our community who helps to lead our other students, and hopefully continuing to grow into a madricha, because you have that leadership capability deep within you. And you also just have such poise. You come up to the bima, you worked so hard to be here. Your voice is beautiful, and you've offered so much of yourself to us as you've led us this morning. And so now it's Rabbi Debbie and my's honor to get to offer a blessing back onto you after all the blessings that you've already shared and all the blessings we hope you will continue to share from this generation to generations yet to come, continuing to hopefully inspire your little siblings and family and friends around you always towards the good. So we share with you this threefold blessing, the priestly benediction. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha.
And may God shine God's light upon you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
And Lila, most especially, may you remember this moment as the beginning of your life journey as a leader in our community, as an influencer in our community, And may God most especially grant you shalom, wholeness and completeness, as together we say,
Amen.
Amen.
Ken Yehiratzon. May it be the
Amen.
divine will. And so, Lila, to really solidify all of this, we wanted to give you a few gifts as well. First and foremost, a certificate which certifies that you did indeed become bat mitzvah today. You did all the hard work, and your name and Jewish community is here on this sheet of paper. In addition to that, to encourage your lifelong learning, we offer, oh my goodness, the blessing just wants to keep jumping out at me, y'all. A morning filled with blessings. And so this book by Abigail Pograbin, My Jewish Year, is we hope will be will help encourage you on your lifelong journey of Jewish learning, as well as a special gift from Tikkun Hayam, an organization that means to repair the sea. They take plastic bottles and things like that out of the ocean, put it through a 3D printer, and make Judaica out of it. So this is your very own recycled mezuzah made out of those pieces of plastic to help repair the world, that you may continue to use to help dedicate spaces of your own as you continue forward as a leader in our Jewish community. Mazel tov, we're so proud of you. You can take a seat. So we rise once more on page 282 for our Aleinu prayer. Please rise and body your spirit.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכנתוסו בגובי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו עינות, ואנחנו קוראים ומשחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. It is practice in Jewish tradition to always return to the act of memory, no matter if it's a service in the morning, evening, any time of day. We always include an opportunity to remember those who once walked by our side, whose physical forms are no longer a part of this world, but whose spirits, whose light, whose values continue to live on in the ways that we remember them. In our community, we're in the period of Shloshim for the following individuals the first 30 days of mourning. Eduardo de la Madrid, brother-in-law of Fred Finkelstein. Dorothy Viss, wife of Leonard Viss, aunt of Zach Hoffman, Lori Schulman, Debbie Emmett, and Robert Martin. Also in Shloshim is Shirley Schwartz, mother of Dita Applebaum, Jonathan Schwartz, Jeffrey Schwartz of blessed memory, Joshua Schwartz, Jill Pierce, mother-in-law of Fred Applebaum, Carla Schwartz, Denise Schwartz, Rebecca Schwartz, Ed Pierce, grandmother of Jacob, Bernadette, Sydney, Jenny, Emily, David, Ben, Shannon, and Billy, grandmother-in-law of Eric and Taylor and of Elizabeth and Lauren and Jamie, great-grandmother of Nora, Isaac, Caroline, Evan, Everly, J.D., William, and Ivy. Also in the period of Shloshim, Hyman M. Paisner, husband of Sheila Paisner and father of Joel, Martin of Barry, and Richard Paisner, father-in-law of Liz, Judy, Charlene, and Jamie, grandfather of Natalie Paisner, Noah Paisner, and grandfather-in-law of Tom Lai. Our community also is observing the following yortzites, the anniversaries of loss on this Shabbat. Martin Aronson, Eugene Barston, Mildred Becker, Marvin Belosky, Jerome Jacob Bergita, Herman Book, Irvin Boyer, Solomon Disman, Warren Dolan, Selma Dublin, Herman Ehrlich, Neil Eisenberg, Robert Eisenhoff, Leon Ellenbogen, Milton Engman, J. Fleischman, Douglas Fleming, Phil Fox, Amelia George, Richard Neil Ginsler, Berna Herman Scheck, Frank Hillel, Josephine Lane, Alan Leader, Stina Linkhart, Walter Lorber, John Maurer, Michael B. Maurer, Rebecca Knapp, Martin Pollock, Josie Press, Barbara Rubin, John Sabrit, O. Peter Schumacher, Solomon Schuchter, Kathleen Dakin Thompson, Molly Udell, Eddie Wares, Helena Zasloff, Zelda Zeidman, and Mark Zimmerman. If there's anyone that you are remembering at this time whose name you would like to hear in this prayer for mourning, or if there's any names that have been mispronounced, I invite you to share them aloud or hold them in your heart at this time. Get Harold Orbach. If you are in the first week, the first month, or the first year of mourning, I invite you to rise and remain standing so that we may honor the mourners amidst us. If you are observing a yort site this Shabbat, I invite you to please rise and remain standing so we may acknowledge you. It is your custom to rise in solidarity or to rise for those who have no one to offer their prayers for them, or just to stand alongside the members of our community in mourning. I invite you to rise in body or spirit as we turn to page 294 for our Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam omei olmaya. Yitbarach ve'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. Vit hadar, vit ale, vit halal, shmei de kudesha, berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da amiran be'alma ve'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru. Amen. Zichronam livracha. May their memories forever be for a blessing, and may their light continue to flicker on in the hearts of each of us who remember them. You may be seated. Once again, I want to offer gratitude to Jamie Shore for making sure we can be both seen and heard here in the sanctuary, to our wonderful musicians, Sean Weaver, Andy Stoller, and Taryn Weber, for helping beautify our service this morning, and to our unsung heroes of every Shabbat experience and every experience here at Temple Beth Am, our facilities team. If you see any of them, please thank them, because without them, none of this is possible. And I invite you to please, not yet, we have a few more things yet, but I just want to say, one of the ways we can honor our shamashim, our wonderful greeters, Ronnie and Diana, will be to take our prayer books back to the front of the sanctuary when we do end. And so we now have the opportunity to sanctify Shabbat with our Kiddush and Motzi. Lila, why don't you come back up? We will grab that grape juice for ourselves. You can join with us in the blessing on page 301 if you'd like. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. Please take a sip and make that a kosher blessing.
And it's my honor, and I know who you are out there, if you have become Be Mitzvah in the past 6 months or will become Be Mitzvah in the next 6 months, come on up and join Lila and support her up here with Motzi together. Yeah, we know who you are, so
We see you.
gonna let you hold that.
And for all the rest of us here, if you're comfortable after going elbow to elbow or putting an arm around someone, it's nice to feel a sense of community in this moment as we offer our blessing over the challah together.
Everybody.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon. I have the pleasure of getting to ask every student about their interests and styles of music as we approach the Shabbat service and as we choose which melodies we want to do. And so this Shabbat, Lila, who I don't know if you know, likes musical theater, well, we chose something that would be only appropriate and fitting, considering that. So you may all be seated if you'd like as we turn to page 300 and I believe 21, if I'm not totally mistaken here. I am, yes. As we sing together the words of Adon Olam to a melody that you may have heard once or twice before, especially if you're interested in musical theater. Oseh shalom shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Adon Olam Asher malach b'terem kol yatir nivra le'et nafsa v'hefso kol azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kiklot hakol levado imno nora ve'hu haya ve'hu obed ve'hu yeh be'tivara yada da da yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 ve'hu echad ve'ein sheini lehachziro ve'avirav b'li reishit b'li tachlit ve'lo ha'oz ve'hamisrav ve'hu eli ve'chai go'ali v'tzor chevli ve'et tzara ve'hu nisi u'manos li menat kosi be'yom ekra. Adon Olam Asher malach b'terem kol yatir nivra le'et nasa v'chefso kol azai melech shemo nikra be'yado afkin ruchi et ishan be'ayira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li ve'lo hira yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada da 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 yada. Everybody yada da 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 yada da 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 da. Shabbat Shalom! Yasher Koach!
That's awesome.
Yasher Koach, we invite you to join us.